There is a grand plot and conspiracy that's being done by billionaires across this country that is trying to destroy not only our democracy, but our world, our environment, and our future for our children. And I have a plan that I'm going to unleash on this episode for all of...
He pardoned them?
What? What the fuck are you talking about?
Trump just pardoned Todd and Julie Chrisley.
The Chrisleys?
Yeah, they've been pardoned.
He pardoned the fucking Chrisleys?
Yes.
Too many times. Remember to smile.
I had to breathe.
Yeah,
I had to breathe. I had to go have a breathe.
I had a little moment.
I had a whole thing I was going to do.
We were going to solve the world's problems.
But now...
But I need to talk to you about this.
Yeah, no, I need to hear about this because it's the Chrisleys. It's Todd and Julie?
Todd and Julie Chrisley.
Oh, my God.
Who were famously found guilty of fraud and tax evasion in 2022.
Yeah, but also who more famously we covered on our second ever episode of this podcast.
It was the episode where we talked about Hilaria Baldwin, also a famous person.
Famous person. Poorly, for the wrong reasons.
You know she lost the accent.
Yes, I know.
She's not doing it anymore.
You're talking about Hilaria Baldwin.
Yeah, in her fake accent.
Okay,
but she doesn't have it anymore.
No, because I think that this is, for the first time in a while, we don't really do a lot of, and then catch-up episodes. What's the word?
Throwback?
No, not throwback. It's
Updates.
Update.
Yeah.
This is an update episode.
We've been updated.
Well, you know what's crazy is that we've been discussing for a while of whether or not you and I should watch the Hilaria Baldwin, Alec Baldwin reality show. Because they have a reality show that's on HBO Max. Because that's been updated too.
Yeah.
Max is now HBO Max again.
Changing.
The more things change, the more they stay exactly the fucking same. And so
wait, here's the thing though. I didn't even know about the Chrisleys.
Yes.
This past episode, which is the second episode ever posted of Pro Mania 500, Too Many Tabs.
Which, can I tell you, is not on YouTube, nor is it on our Patreon at ProMania500.net.
You have to find it on iTunes or Spotify,
Yeah,
right?
you have to go and scroll all the way to the beginning.
Yeah.
It's episode number 2.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what it's titled.
Hilaria Knows Best or something, because we were trying to marry the two.
Yeah, marry the two.
But the thing is, I didn't know anything about the Chrisleys, and in this episode, you explained them to me. Mm-hmm. And so the only reason I even saw this on the internet, I was like, oh, the Chrisleys, who famously got found guilty for fraud because they defrauded banks of like $30 million in loans.
Yeah, and
didn't pay taxes for 12 years.
Yes, there's tax evasion, there's bank fraud, it's real estate crimes, it's money crimes, it's all very white-collar criminal stuff.
Yeah.
And they got found guilty. But I knew all about the Chrisleys because of pro wrestling, which is so confusing to most people. But if you watched WWE, specifically Monday Night Raw, if you watched that show, I want to say 2016, 2017, anytime the Chrisley rerun ran before Monday Night Raw. So if you wanted to catch the beginning of the show, you ended up watching 2 to 3 minutes of the Chrisleys.
Yeah.
And those 2 to 3 minutes were always worse than going to the dentist's office. It was like pulling teeth.
And if there's one thing the Chrisleys know, it's teeth.
Listen, you know what? That was before we understood veneers. This is because we had recorded, when did we record the episodes?
2023?
Yeah, because the second episode ever.
January 29th, 2023.
Incredible.
Also, I couldn't find a Google Docs. I think you might have written it down on paper.
This might have been a paper one. Yeah, this could have. That's
because I had to listen to the audio to go back through.
Oh, you had to listen to the audio, and that was what a throwback. First thing, all right, we're talking about over 2 years ago.
Yeah,
2.5 years ago. We didn't have these great microphones.
Nope.
We didn't have a curtain.
Nope.
We didn't have Mr. Third.
Nope.
Over on the ones and twos.
We didn't have a baby.
We don't like. It's very true. I like how. Okay, yeah. Well, it's funny because when we found out about this, there was a moment where I was like, "Well, okay, we'll pull up all of your Chrisley research," and you were like, "You told me."
I was like, "You're the one that knew about it,"
and I'm like, "I did." And then because again, the baby has ruined,
lost every brain cell I ever had.
Ever since this screaming toddler came into our life.
You're talking about the president?
Yeah, that's the joke I just made on our Patreon exclusive podcast, Vibing with the Food Idiot, which is up everywhere on ProMania500.net. I feel like I plugged the Patreon enough now. Now, listen, Mrs. P. Mm-hmm. The reason I know about the Chrisleys, though, is because Monday Night Raw, the premier wrestling show, the longest episodic show in television history.
Yes.
Monday Night Raw, which is now exclusively on Netflix.
Sure.
But used to be on the USA Network.
Okay.
Would run. And I would have to watch 2 or 3 minutes of the Chrisleys. And this was always my reaction of, this is how everybody watched the Chrisleys.
Yeah.
Whenever you came on it. Be like, everyone knows the dad's gay, right? Like, that's how everybody watched the show because Chrisley, Todd Chrisley,
Todd.
is a very effeminate man.
Yep.
And he was there with his wife.
Julie.
And his kids.
Savannah, Grayson, and the other ones.
And then they would also have the grandma. Mm-hmm. And the whole thing was that the grandma was always getting in a little trouble.
Yeah, always down to the casino, had a couple drinks.
Yeah, she had a couple drinks, went to the casino. We're in Nashville. I don't even know how I got here. And that was like the whole show. And it's just slop. It is reality TV show slop.
Oh, they got 6 seasons and 3 spinoffs, so use your words wisely. It sounds successful to me.
They made more content than Downton Abbey.
Oh no!
They had 3 spinoffs.
Oh, they're about to get another spinoff. The post prison spinoff.
Yeah, I feel like
it's going to be great.
Well, and here's the thing: is the Chrisleys are there, right? The Chrisleys had 6 seasons before streaming destroyed everything.
Yeah.
So they have the data to convince a network executive to give them more money.
Yes.
And to make another show. And also, but I think what they'll probably do, and we'll get into it a little bit later, I think they're going to really pivot into the internet of it all.
Oh, they're big time going to pivot.
I feel like
there's no doubt in my mind.
I feel like a YouTube,
Wait, can
a Twitch stream. Let's go.
I want to give a quick kind of update synopsis of who they are, because there could be listeners that have no idea who these people are.
Yeah, listen,
and I need to explain to them who they are.
And real quick, before we get into that, a lot of our listeners, a lot of new people, when they join us, they like to go all the way back to episode 1. You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
I just want to tell y'all, you don't have to do that. And I see it happen. You can.
You can. What else are you doing?
No, but it's a lot of people go back to episode 1.
I'm going to disagree and say that fuck your bosses, waste their time, listen to our podcast on their dime.
Okay. I mean, I'm not saying don't listen to the podcast.
I'm saying listen on work hours.
I'm just saying you can listen to any episode of this podcast in any order. It doesn't really matter. The only difference is if you listen to this first season, we don't have a baby. Mm-hmm. And then you listen to later seasons, we do.
And then we have better microphones.
And then, that's how that works. Okay.
Okay. So
who are the Chrisleys?
I got to tell you, even though you told me, but now I need to tell you.
Because I don't remember.
I know you don't. So here's the thing. They were reality show TV stars. Like you said, they were on before wrestling. They had 9 seasons of reality TV plus 3 spinoffs. The whole thing was that Todd was a real estate mogul. That was his whole thing. I'm into real estate. Mm-hmm. And by that, I mean, he was basically a landlord.
Yeah.
A real shitty landlord. In 2011, they started their first really, toe dip into fraud.
Yeah.
And what they did is they faked income statements to apply for loans from banks. And the way that they did this is they actually really made fake documents, with pen, paper, glue, and they fax documents that they hodgepodge together, not even digitally.
It's 2011.
Crafter,
yeah, it's 2011. So for those of you guys who don't know, because I used to work in this field of, especially when it came to reading income statements and tax documents for real estate companies and for banks, and so. An income statement, it just says this is how much money we're bringing in. This is our expenses, our top line expenses and stuff like that. All these different things, and then this is how much money we make left over.
Yeah,
which is how much money the bank can expect us to be able to pay back.
Yes,
if we get these loans, so we can go buy more stuff and blah blah blah. They were faking these. Not by going on, as you're saying, going onto a computer. They would probably have, I think they had income statements that were from accounting firms and things like that. And then they would cut stuff, glue it, and then fax it. Now, this is important. The reason why the fax is important is because when you fax the document, inconsistencies can then be blamed on the fax machine and the scanner. Mm-hmm. And this is actually a huge issue. It was it's such a big issue. Banks love fax machines because they're actually so low tech that they are difficult to intercept and they're more difficult to fake the transmission of the facts.
Yeah.
But the document coming to the other end is where the issue can be.
Yeah.
And it's such a scummy thing. I love it.
But the thing is they ended up not paying back the money for those loans, but then they went and applied for more loans using bad documentation to get loans to pay back the other loans, but they didn't really pay those back either.
Yeah.
So the other thing is, like, I don't even know why they need all these loans, because they were making money. There was a point where they were making between $600,000 to $1 million a month in rental income alone. That's not including the reality shows. They're making up to $1 million a month as landlords.
Yeah. Parasites.
Yeah, parasites.
Parasites.
They were.
We've gotten pretty far. Just
sure.
we've covered a lot on this show. I do want to get back to our baseline though,
Yeah.
which is that all landlords are parasites.
Oh, okay.
All of them. But what about this one? She's a parasite too. I don't give a shit. But my aunt, she does. No, parasite. Okay. The president of the United States is famously a landlord. Chief parasite. He is the what's that movie? A Bug's Life?
He's a grasshopper?
He's a grasshopper. All grasshoppers are just landlords. Okay?
Grasshoppers are landlords.
All landlords are grasshoppers. They're loud, they're brash, they're annoying as shit.
It's funny that
And they
you
get
yell-
inside and they get inside your walls and you can't get rid of them.
Landlords are b-bugs.
Yeah.
So
Me calling somebody loud, annoying, and brash.
that's
is that
what
you're
I
going
was
with?
laughing about
Okay.
that specifically. They ended up being charged and convicted.
Todd and Julie Chrisley.
With stealing $47 million in loans. Okay, so that's how much they stole from the banks. $47 million.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is they didn't pay income taxes for 10 years.
Yeah. Now, real fast, I can already feel some tippy typings beginning to happen.
Oh, in the comment section.
About, they didn't steal money. They borrowed from the banks. So here's the thing. Here's the thing about a bank, especially a small regional bank, because I know this from experience. They only got a certain pool of money. And so they only have a certain amount of money that they're willing to loan out at any given time.
Yeah.
Right? So if they have $47 million over however many years that the Chrisleys are borrowing, that they either A, don't need, or B, don't deserve, that means that other people inside that system who will go to that bank are getting rejected.
Small business owners.
So how many other opportunities are being stolen from other people because the Chrisleys decided to literally cut, copy, paste documents and fax them across these different areas? So because the Chrisleys wanted to get a loan so they could go buy an illegal loan, so they could go buy more real estate property, so then they could then suck more money out of their community to then go buy more shit from Marshalls for their ugly reality TV show mansion. Because if you watch the Chrisleys, by the way, if you watch their show, it's the trashiest fucking living rooms you've ever seen in your entire life. It is just a home goods vomit everywhere you look. Did you see that TikTok a while ago?
Yeah.
Oh, watch this. Hey, Mr. Third.
No!
Mr. Third, do I got a timestamp for you to throw on there? The lady who did the Coco Chanel living room.
Oh,
that
yeah.
went viral on TikTok.
Yeah.
That's what the Chrisleys look like.
Yeah, just shiny.
It's just shiny.
The word they use is gaudy.
They are so gaudy.
Yeah.
They are just, but while they're spending all this money on that, the bank now isn't going to take a risk on somebody else.
Yeah, they're not going to help somebody start a new little coffee shop or a donut shop or a dog daycare or whatever.
Any of those different things, because again, the first thing is...
Or they're not going to loan me money so I can start my skate mart.
No. There's all these different ideas that you've had that the banks will not.
The banks will not fund my really cool ideas.
No. But the bigger thing is that in these moments is opportunities that are going to be taken from the rest of the community while the Chrisleys get to pretend that they're being good people.
Yeah.
And they're not.
Christians.
Yeah.
Listen.
That's the other part of that annoys me so much about them.
Listen, though, here's the thing. Here's the thing. So last night, we got the news. I saw it on the news. Actually, what happened is I got tagged by a bunch of people on social media on the fact that they got pardoned.
Yes.
And the thing about Todd and Julie Chrisley is they haven't been on social media, but their daughter, Savannah, has. And so
that's their oldest daughter.
That's their oldest daughter. And I was like... Savannah, in the clips that I was tagged in, Savannah's on a phone call with President Trump, who's telling her he's pardoning her parents. And he's bumbling. He cannot get through a sentence.
No.
And she's in a BJ's parking lot, apparently. That's what she said. Like, she was heading into BJ's.
Yeah, this is the part that's crazy, right? Because both of these people are big on social media now.
Yeah.
Savannah's big on social media, and obviously the president of the United States is huge in social media. Donald Trump, it's him in the Oval Office.
Yeah.
With a pardoning activist behind her, which I think is the woman that Kim Kardashian helped pardon.
Probably.
Is behind him. And he does a speakerphone call on the big phone. The same phone that he's supposed to be calling Vladimir Putin to end the Ukraine war on.
Yeah.
He is calling Savanah Chrisley.
Of course.
To let her know.
But also didn't give her any notice. Like, get home.
Oh, she didn't get any notice whatsoever.
You know what? But I mean, like, she's on her way to BJ's and she finds out. Like, there could have been a call from someone. Hey, you're about to get a presidential call. You know, do you want to get somewhere private? Blah,
BJ's
blah.
Wholesale.
BJ's Wholesale Club.
Yeah, gotcha. Because some people don't know about BJ's.
It's
Costco.
It's other Costco.
It's other
not as
Costco.
good
It's Sam's Clubs. It's better.
It's better.
Fuck you. Costco's gotten pretentious over the years. I'm going to throw that out there.
Kirkland thinks they're so cool.
Yeah, no.
Kirkland thinks they're so cool.
This is a Wellesley house.
It's a.
All right. All right. If the Costco was closer, maybe we'd give it another shot
just
too.
A little too far away.
The BJ's just happens to be a little bit closer. So we go to a BJ's, okay? But also it's one of those ones where, so here's the part that sucks about BJ's over anything else.
Yeah.
When you look a stranger in their face and they don't know what you're talking about, and you're like, yeah, I was hanging out in the BJ's parking lot. They're like, you went to the blowjob parking lot?
And then I'm even worse because then I go, yeah, right next to the Dick's.
Yeah. Okay.
It's next to the Dick's Sporting Good.
At this point now, you're like echolocating our location, which is why we're going to cut to this ad from Delete Me. As a 90s kid, I'm used to surfing the web, but just like somebody who is out there riding all of the waves out in the ocean, you gotta watch out for sharks that are in those waters. And what are those sharks? In our digital waters, they're data brokers. Data brokers collect all of your personal information, they put it into a file, and then that file can be bought by anyone. A stalker, a government. Yes, that's right, I said a government. That's why it's important that you use Delete Me. Delete Me is a service, a subscription that goes out and deletes your information from people search websites that are being used by a lot of nefarious characters. You can get yourself an annual subscription and get 20% off now by going to joindeleteme.com/pearlmania20. Protect yourself the same way we protect ourselves by going to joindeleteme.com/pearlmania20 or checking our show notes to find out more information. It'll get you a personal dashboard and other options right away. joindeleteme.com/pearlmania20. Okay, so back to this phone call.
Okay, so Savannah, the daughter, takes the phone call.
Yeah.
She's crying. She's so excited. Her parents are going to get out of prison where they've been. And this is the thing, is I didn't really know much about Savannah. I know she did HSN, like she sold jackets on HSN or something. I don't know. I didn't pay attention because you told me about who these people were.
Back on January 29th, 2023.
And then I lived my life.
Yeah,
I never thought of them again.
We had a child. Mm-hmm. The podcast kept growing.
Yeah.
I went on a national comedy tour.
Yeah.
We had a child.
We got a tree removed.
Remember
that? Remember that was the biggest deal that year.
We did so many things. So many things have happened since episode 2 of this podcast till now. And I just want to, real fast.
Let's thank the Patreons and listeners.
I want to thank them. Everybody who's been joining us
so
over
much.
the years at pearlmania500.net. All of the Hey Huns. Did I tell you, I ran into somebody the other day who's a $3 tier member, and they looked at me dead in the eye, and they're like, I'll never give it up because there's never going to be another opportunity for it again.
Yeah, exactly.
The people who are grandfathered into that tier, they're latched.
They're latched on, baby.
But if you want to join us and join now the greatest chat.
The greatest chat of all time. So many cute dogs and cats in there.
It was crazy. I accidentally opened up a chat on Patreon. Thought it was something different. Turns out now everybody's just sharing pictures of their dogs and cats.
I love it in there.
You can find out more by becoming a member.
Here's the thing.
Yes.
I look up Savannah on Instagram.
What's Savannah been doing on Instagram?
I want to tell you something. This is what Savannah did. And I am not... Okay, I want to preface this. I don't think Savannah's a good person. I don't know her.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's evil or good. I don't know. But I think that my assessment of the situation was she figured out an idea and she went for it, balls to the wall.
Okay.
And she succeeded. And she felt like she could get her parents pardoned if she just buttered up Donald Trump.
Okay.
So basically what I'm about to explain to you, I think is a lesson to all of our listeners. If you have somebody that needs to get pardoned, you can just follow the Savanah Savanah Chrisley method.
Oh.
And then you too could get your family member pardoned. Skip Kim Kardashian. You don't need to go to fake law school and fail the bar 6 times. You don't have to do any of that.
Yeah.
What you need to do is buy a MAGA hat, post it on Instagram, and tag Donald Trump in it enough times.
Yeah.
And bing, bang, boom, you're there. And here's the thing. Savannah is a child of grifters. Okay?
Yes.
She grew up in the grift.
I was born in the grift.
You think grift is your ally? You merely adopted the grift. I was molded by it. So she...
real fast. I want to say something just because you're like, I don't, about a judge of her character.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that if my parents were thrown in jail, I would do whatever it would take.
Yeah.
To keep them there as long as possible. No, I'm kidding. Magistra, I'm kidding. But no, I think
the next thing I'm gonna say to you is so you just you red carpeted yourself. So good.
I don't care. But I think that there is a thing about just like trying to free them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like getting a family member out of jail, whatever case possible. Look at like the movie like Les Mis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not movie, sorry. The
Broadway
musical
show?
Yeah, well, we saw it as a movie and I hated it. But
I've seen it as a musical.
The musical Les Mis or other things like that. We have all these different things from history of all these amazing stories of people working very, very hard to free a family member from captivity.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not
unjustly, usually,
but whether or not they should be there or not, that's a different story. And so, like, if both my parents went to jail, I would try whatever to try to free them. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the route I would personally take, but it is the one.
I mean, it will work, I believe, in this state. I think this is what I'm going to describe to you. I believe to be a scientific evidence that this plan will work.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So what it is, I scrolled all the way back through her Instagram.
Okay.
And she didn't used to post political stuff. Now, since the Chrisleys went to prison, she has constantly been doing updates about their well-being, advocating for better conditions for them, talking about the DOJ and things that she feels are inappropriate and wrong from the judges. So like she's been quote advocating for her parents on social media for a very long time.
So she's into prison abolition now.
Yes. But she doesn't know that.
Yeah, no, that's what's funny with all of these people is it's a common thing with conservatism, right?
Yeah.
Where suddenly they were all very big on the specific thing that affecting them or their family members.
Yes.
Where suddenly they'll be like, wait, we should do something about cancer out of nowhere. Why? Because my mom got cancer.
Yeah, my abortion is different.
Yes, exactly. 100%. And that's the same thing with the January 6th pardon people. All of them and their families are all like, we need prison reform. It's like, yes, we do need prison reform.
Yeah.
And they're like, specifically for people who do insurrections. You're like,
No, that's not what we meant.
Yeah.
So I have saved a few images, and don't worry, I pre-sent them to Mr. Third so he can easily put them on the screen for us.
Right here?
Yep. So the first post I just wanted to open is from September 8th, and you'll see it's her and Theo Von. This has nothing to do with anything. I just want to point out that even before the election, Theo Von was a fucking Trump supporter. I fucking hate that guy.
Yeah.
And in the copy it said, he asked her, so like, do you like that your parents are being in prison? It could be a good break for you, which is kind of what you just said. A Theo Von joke.
Yeah. No, I did not. No, I did not. Fuck you. Stop laughing. Everybody, this podcast is done. No. I did not. All right, I said a hack joke.
Well,
just Theo like Theo Don.
Theo Von's a hack. What are you gonna do?
Okay, yeah.
So
he made $55 million in revenue on his fucking thing. Brett, can I get on my shit real fast?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. All right, I am so sick of anytime Theo Von gets brought up, half the fucking comments, especially when he does some bullshit, half the fucking comments are people being like, yeah, Theo doesn't know though, because he's actually like, he's fucking like Theo's different, like he doesn't actually understand what's happening. He is 45 years old. Theo Von is 45 fucking years old with a degree in urban planning. He is not stupid. He has been performing in front of audiences for 20 fucking years. He knows how to manipulate your fucking emotions. Oh, Pearlmania, how do you know that? Because I've been performing in front of audiences for over 20 years, and I know how to manipulate your fucking emotions. The difference is Theo won't admit that he fucking knows how to do that. None of these fucking comics who have all been out here carrying water for this bullshit will fucking admit that. Oh, but Theo said a fucking statement about a thing that I care about. Yeah, he knew. He's pivoting, dipshit. He's pivoting because he's been co-signing all of the shit that's been fucking happening. He's made it worse, and he's realizing it's starting to affect his bottom line, and occasionally people are showing up in his comments on Instagram and on YouTube, and he's seeing a couple of them every now and then. And that's the reason why Theo's starting to pivot a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. He's still going to tell you that he's independent right up until a week before Election Day when he's going to tell you to vote Republican because both parties are the same, according to fucking Theo Von. This happens over and over and over again with all of these fucking guys. And I'm telling you right now, the last part, this is coming from me. This is coming from me, Pearlmania 500, the stand-up comic, stand-up comedians know intrinsically how to manipulate your emotions and how you view things and how you'll talk about things, and they know how to package it for you. And when they get their fucking podcast, they know how to be the most interesting person at your fucking workplace. Who are you going to talk to? You're going to talk to Stephanie in HR? You're going to talk to Mark in accounting? No, you're going to listen to Theo Von in your AirPod. You're going to listen to Alex Perlman in your fucking AirPod. And we're going to tell you what is happening around the world and exactly how you should feel mad about it or happy about it or sad about it. And in between that, you know what we're going to do? We're going to throw to commercials and ad reads because that's what the fucking secret of it all is. Just keep that fucking in mind. The difference between me and Theo Von and Joe Rogan and all these other fucking guys is they will never fucking admit that to you. I will always admit that to you, and that's why I will beg you to join us at pearlmania500.net, where you can not have to listen to the ads.
Ad-free listing.
And you can,
I was wondering where you were going to take it.
And you can also hear things like Vibing with the Food Idiot, where Mrs. P this week explained to me how to make Chex Treats. And other delightful things. I think
Theo Von's pivot was when he turned to the right to shake Kushner's hand at Mar-a-Lago. Anyway. So.
I love that picture of him, and I loved how days before he was screaming that he went on him talking about Gaza and how we need to end this. He took pictures of himself having brunch with Jared Kushner.
Yeah.
Who famously wants to build a resort right there.
Yeah.
Right at the place where Theo Von's best friend, the President of the United States, wants to also build a resort.
Yeah. Okay, so listen.
Yes. Okay. But this is about the Chrisleys.
We're back to the Chrisleys.
Oh, they know best.
I'm going to tell you something. If it comes to getting your parents pardoned, I think Savannah does know best.
She does know best.
And I'm going to tell you why I think that.
Okay.
So November 15th, 2024, she's on Instagram, and I'm going to read you what she wrote in her caption, okay? A week ago, I took the time to craft a letter filled with nothing but facts, exposing the corruption within the Bureau of Prisons. As I dig deeper into this fight, there are moments of fear for my safety creeps in, but then I remind myself that it's all worth it if it means saving lives. Today, my encounter with Steve Bannon at CPAC reignited my strength and courage to keep pushing forward. As he wisely said, quote, never apologize, never back down, never retreat, just keep advancing. Victory comes from relentless effort, standing your ground no matter the odds, end quote. Period. Then she says, Elon and at Vivek Ramaswamy, it's time to restructure the Bureau of Prisons to ensure efficiency, humanity, and full transparency. I almost choked reading that. She went to CPAC, crazy.
Yeah.
Then she meets Steve Bannon and thinks he's wise and she should listen to him. And then she thinks that Vivek and Elon are going to restructure the Bureau of Prisons to make them transparent. There's a lot of...
Well, and what she has posted tied to this
yeah.
is a letter from that she wrote herself to Chairman James Comer, Chairman Jim Jordan of the House Judiciary Committee, and the Bureau of Prisons, all this other different stuff, listing all these things. And again, she's like, "Oh, I found information." Mm-hmm. This is a good multi-level grift on this one.
Yeah.
All right. First thing, I found secret information. I found secret facts. They're secret. They're so secret that you can find them publicly anywhere.
Yeah.
I love that. I always love that. That's my favorite because one of my favorite things with social media influencers is that they all Columbus everything.
Yeah.
They never learn something. It's been a big issue in the TikTok era. Nobody learns anything anymore. They discover stuff.
I discovered it.
I discovered stuff. Where did you discover it? Oh, I discovered it inside this book. Oh, okay. Where'd you discover the book? Well, I discovered the book at the Barnes and Noble. It's like you didn't discover. You learned something. That's fine. You're allowed to learn things. It's just nobody does that anymore.
Yeah.
The secondary fact of this, though, is one, tagging CPAC. Amazing.
Yeah.
The first thing, give CPAC their plus. She didn't tag Steve Bannon because I don't think Steve Bannon's on Instagram. I don't think Steve Bannon would be on Instagram because Steve Bannon looks like this. This is what Steve Bannon looks like. It's horrifying. Look at how scary that man's face is. Anyway.
I think he would be too drunk. It'd
Yeah.
be like it'd be hard to use Instagram if your eyes are that blurry.
But here comes the better part. She doesn't tag Elon.
No.
Because Elon's on Twitter.
Yeah.
But she tags Vivek, and that is the time capsule part
Time
of that.
capsule, right? That's
because
what I was
this
thinking.
is back when Vivek had a little bit of pull.
Yeah.
Before Vivek told those lazy whites to pull their fucking pants up.
Yeah. And they said, nope.
Then they said, get out of here.
Okay, so then...
Back to Ohio with you. But here's one thing I found interesting.
Okay.
She was smart on this. Mm-hmm. At least from your research.
Yeah.
It looks like she waited till Trump won.
Yes, she waited till Trump
The
won.
second Trump won, she's like, game on. We're going to get
That's
this.
what I mean. Her Instagram pre the election, she obviously conservative. She's very Christian. She talks about that stuff, but there wasn't like the hashtag MAGA of it all wasn't really there until the election after November 7th.
Yeah.
Suddenly, every hat, every color.
So what you're saying is she did a reverse Mama Tot.
Yeah. She did.
Oh, I care about the people of North Carolina. Oh, Donald Trump isn't going to give anything to the people of North Carolina. I'm going to be suddenly real quiet.
I'm going to be real quiet.
I'm Mama Tot.
Oh, they've defunded FEMA.
Yeah.
So, okay, then November 15th, she goes to Mar-a-Lago. Okay, I have a picture here. This is
it's the same day. It's the same day she made that post.
Yeah, she goes to Mar-a-Lago.
Okay, gotcha.
Now we're going to skip ahead a little to February 24th. She goes to CPAC again, or she's going with CPAC to advocate as part of her new role because she was announced to be the senior fellow for the Nolan Center for Criminal Justice. And when I tell you I tried to research the Nolan Center for Criminal Justice, there's one page on CPAC's website. I couldn't find anything about what it means to be a senior fellow for the Nolan Center. But also, I need you to know, I think I need a new laptop because CPAC's website is really bad, and I think my laptop got a virus from it.
Oh, great.
The website's so bad.
Great.
And it was so buggy, and I was like, oh, I shouldn't be on this website.
Yeah,
this is bad.
I will say one of the biggest sacrifices that we make doing this show is anytime, especially whenever we're dealing with something current, when we go to their actual websites or we start to look up somebody like on YouTube or we go into their Instagram, it destroys our algorithms.
Oh my God.
And like you and I used to have really well-crafted algorithms.
No.
Like right now, I want to tell you something. Right now, my YouTube, which is the house YouTube that we use for everybody, the baby watches Teletubbies and Yo Gabba Gabba on it.
Gay icons.
Just amazing.
Yeah.
You know, we stan a queen. But the so my YouTube now recommends me Yo Gabba Gabba.
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk.
Sure.
Hassan Piker.
Uh-huh.
And Sesame Street.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I just stare at it sometimes. I'm like, I used to watch fun things.
I used to have cool stuff. Although, did I tell you that during all my research, I have another YouTube account that is I use for research stuff, and it's
you need to
usually,
share that with me.
No, it's usually just beauty content and gardening, and then once in a while, like I'll get into my deep dives of the grifters, like that. So it's like it's still my girly pop content that I like.
Yeah.
But then every once in a while, the other day I opened up my YouTube, and guess what it suggested? A Vosh video.
Oh, yeah, the streamer.
Yeah, who you told me about in one of our episodes, and I didn't know who that guy was, and I was like, and then I was like, don't recommend.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
it's like the lights.
Go on, get.
Go on now, get. Do not recommend.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's walking the halls of CPAC.
Okay, sorry. Let's reset.
Okay, I need a new laptop.
Okay.
Because the CPAC website is scary.
Fine. Yeah, so you went to CPAC's website, and she has, and by she we mean Savanah Chrisley.
Mm-hmm. Her middle name's Faith, I believe. Savannah.
Of course it is.
Savannah
You know what?
Faith.
Honestly, can I tell you something real fast? The uphill battle she has had to fight her entire life. Good for you. So Savanah Chrisley becomes a senior fellow for the now just so you know, the fellows and all these different things, these are just titles. These are like buying. Remember a few years ago where you could get a Scottish laird? Yeah,
you can buy these type of things.
Yes.
But it's interesting because where I used to work, we had fellows, but they were like, it was like a paid job.
Yes.
Through a grant program.
Yeah.
I thought, I was like, wait, what? But I think this is just like the rebranding of the term a fellow.
I think it's a little bit of both, though. I think that it's one of those ones where like you can buy. Well, I mean, the same thing with being an actual lord, like a true lord in, like a monarchical society. Like you should be inheriting land with that, which then will pay you back rent.
A lord of the land?
A landlord, if you will. Yeah. But anyway, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So in this image on her Instagram, the caption says, "I will never stop fighting for my parents. I will never stop fighting for the millions of others crushed by the Department of Injustice. We will not be silenced." Okay, so our advocacy is starting to really blame the Department of Justice for convicting her parents of all that crime. But this is the thing that I thought was very funny. I have an image of it, Mr. Third. Fun fact, the top comment on there was from Joe Giudice. Do you know who that is? Giudice? No. He is actually the husband of Teresa Giudice from the Real Housewives of New Jersey. They famously went to prison for mail wire fraud, bankruptcy fraud, and tax evasion. That's like their whole thing. Another form of tax evasion.
Yeah.
And so he and his wife both went to prison for that. And then he got deported back to Italy. But he commented on this. He got commented on this post where she's like, "I'll never stop fighting for the millions crushed by the Department of Injustice." And I'm like, Joe, this is not about you, my dude.
Yeah, no, but also I love that they'll scream, "We're the party of law and order."
Yeah.
And then at the same exact time be like, "Yeah, except the fucking, I hate the FBI, the DOJ, I hate all these other fucking people." Anybody who has ever looked over a HUD document and realized we're doing a racism in our rentals.
Yeah.
Those guys, we need to fucking stop those motherfuckers.
They're the worst.
Knock on my door and tell me I can't be wiring things illegally to people. Fucking, oh my God. All right.
So anyway, I laughed when I saw it in the comments. I was like, let me take a screenshot before this disappears.
Wait, that's the mom. That's the Real Housewife. Is that the one who flipped the table?
Yes.
That's the table flipper?
Yes. That's her husband.
From this famous scene right here?
Got it.
Yeah. Timestamp.
Yes, it's that Real Housewife of New Jersey, the classic Real Housewife of New Jersey situation.
Yeah. When you think of a Real Housewife of New Jersey, you think about her
you
face.
Picture Teresa Giudice.
Is Bethany Frankel from that too?
She's New York.
She's New York?
She's New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
They have the same phenotype. I don't know what that means.
Okay. So on March 28th.
2025.
2025.
This year.
Yep. It's Women's History Month.
Literally 2 months ago.
So we're going to the White House.
That's not where you want to go if you're a woman.
Women's History Month celebrating at the White House.
I'm going to tell you, if I was a woman, I would not go to this White House.
Let me read you the caption that goes under this Instagram image of her at the White House for Women's History Month. Quote, "Grateful for a president who doesn't just acknowledge women, but empowers us.
No.
Leading the most pro-woman cabinet in decades.
What?
And to this incredible Susie Wiles, Linda McMahon, Nancy Mace, Alice Johnson, Lynn Patton, Jessica Krause, Kat McCamick, and so many more."
The first thing, epic fall off on this list. Because the first three I knew. Susie Wiles is the chief of staff for Donald Trump.
Yep.
Whenever you see Donald Trump.
She's the scariest of them all.
She's terrifying. Okay. Yeah. Susie Wiles, for those of you guys who don't know, what's the name? Okay. Everybody get your little Google fingers ready.
Okay.
In Harry Potter, the lady who wears the pink. You know what I'm talking about?
Let's see who gets it first. Dolores Umbridge.
Yes. Susie Wilds is Dolores Umbridge.
Okay.
Oh my God. All right. Every millennial butthole just clenched.
Yep.
She is Dolores Umbridge. She should be dragged into the woods by centaurs. No. That's delete that. No, leave it in. Susie Wilds is she was from Florida, and she was running DeSantis's campaign. And they had a falling out.
Okay.
And then she walked across the street and was like, I'll run Trump's campaign.
She just walked over to Mar-a-Lago.
She did.
Yeah.
She literally did. She walked across the street and she was like, I'm working for you now. And everyone was like, okay.
You're not going to stop
And
her. She's so scary.
She is. In politics, there's this weird thing where like Democrats will respect Republicans and Republicans want everyone dead. But like a lot of the Democrats, especially in Florida, really respect Susie Wilds because like message control and like how she sets things up and she's like, you're not going to cross this line. So when all this shit was happening with Elon and Vivek and Doge early on, and there's all this infighting and stuff like that, Susie's the one who's compartmentalizes them.
Yeah.
She's like, all right. Because in his first term, they were all crazy psychos. They're backstabbing everything. They couldn't get much done in the first Trump term. In this one, Susie Wilds is literally the ones who comes in, and she was like, okay, if you two are going to fight, you're going to fight over there.
Yeah.
You're going to fight over there in the Bureau of Land Management or whatever. I don't give a shit. Go fight over there.
So she's just being a mom.
She is 100% the den mother.
She's the den mother.
She's the den mother
to this group of money whores.
Of this den of vipers. And so she just sits there and she's like, this is your purview. And whenever they try to bleed over, so she is very much the gatekeeper and all those different things. And
girl boss gatekeep?
She is gaslight, girl boss gatekeeping America. Okay? Linda McMahon, who we've covered before.
Famously have episodes about the McMahons.
We do. And we have one about how Donald Trump was created by WWE. And then we also have a very early episode about Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
It's called Torn Yellow T-shirt. I think it's like episode 8 or something like that. But Linda is the Secretary of Education.
Yep.
Also the former CFO of WWE. One of the founders of WWE in the modern era, who worked very closely with her husband, Vince McMahon, who has had his DOJ case for sex trafficking.
Yeah, that was
human
dropped.
Trafficking women across state lines.
Yeah.
And is currently facing a lawsuit. Vince McMahon is currently facing a lawsuit for pooping on a woman's head.
Yeah.
During a non-consensual three-way. And that's the way I can say that and still keep this video monetized. Linda is also under a lawsuit for covering up an interstate child sex ring.
Oh.
Yeah.
She's in charge of education?
Yeah, she's in charge of our education. And now I can already feel people typing in the comments like, oh, don't forget the A1. Because she was talking about AI and how it would help schools, but when she read it as A1,
steak sauce.
Yes, and talked about that. But Linda McMahon, a solely evil figure. Nancy Mace.
Yep.
She is the moron congresswoman from South Carolina, whose whole thing right now is bathroom bills.
Yeah.
She is a social media gadfly when it comes to bathrooms, and she loves posting pictures. And I'm just going to do this real fast right here on the screen. A big collage of Nancy Mace just standing next to different bathroom signs for some fucking reason. Because, again, she stands on absolutely fucking nothing.
But also, like, why does she have to go to the bathroom so much? Are you okay with IBS?
A few people believe that Nancy Mace is just wrecking bathrooms up and down the Eastern Seaboard.
She just, like, is one of those ones where, like, if anybody sits in a stall near her, she can't poop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she's making it everyone's problem.
She's making it everyone else's problem. But also famously, before the trans issues became a huge a marketing technique of the modern MAGA GOP in these recent years, because they did algorithm testing and realized they could pop a rating with it, Nancy Mace famously was posting about how she loved the trans community and the LGBT because she was one of the Republicans that respected pride. She was trying to be one of the different. She wasn't like other girls.
Nope.
And now, guess what? She's just like all the other girls.
Well,
the rest of them,
no, not the other girls. The other TERFs.
The other TERFs. The by the way, trans rights are human rights. Just throw that back out there again, because I feel like we keep forgetting it. Also, happy Pride. This episode's dropping on June 1st.
It is?
Yeah, and Pride is for fucking everyone except cops. Okay. No cops at Pride. There we go. Now, you were saying she was there at the White House.
She was at the White House for Women's History Month, celebrating
Savanah Chrisley.
Savanah Chrisley. Okay. I'm just telling you, we're using Instagram as her calendar planner on how she's going to get her parents pardoned.
Yeah.
Okay, we're watching her take the steps. These are the places she's going and the people she's getting aligned with, right?
What you're describing is she is actually documenting a personal lobbying effort.
Yes.
This is how lobbying works.
This is a lesson to all. That's what I'm saying. If you know someone that needs to be pardoned, you're going to need to follow this plan to get them out.
And tag the fuck out of people.
You're going to need the @ button and the hashtag button.
Yeah, you're going to tag the shit out of people, and you're going to want to collect analytics. And
speaking of analytics, can we take a little break?
Oh, yeah, let's take a little break. And when we come back, we'll find out more about how the Chrisleys are free and in the streets. When it's time for a medical plan that's better than Google it and panic, check out ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment. Appointments through ZocDoc typically happen 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. ZocDoc has a network of over 100,000 qualified professionals that can treat anything from mental health to dental health, primary care to urgent care. Hey, listen, recently I had an issue with a tooth, and I went to ZocDoc and was able to find a dentist that was covered by my dental insurance that was easy and really great to get to. And now I don't have that tooth problem, all because of ZocDoc. It's time to take care of your health the easy way. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/tabs to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor. That's ZocDoc.com/tabs. ZocDoc.com/tabs. All right, Mrs. P, we're back. And I did look over her analytics a little bit.
Yeah.
Because the first post that you pointed to, that early one, it only had like 6K likes.
Yeah.
And she has like 2.9 million Instagram followers. So I was like, those numbers are kind of off. But I did quickly kind of scroll through her page, and her pinned at the top was the ones that really struck me, because she has some stuff up here about Trump being found guilty.
Yeah.
She had some reels early on that had massive amounts of likes and engagement of her talking about like how they're doing to Trump. Remember when Trump was found guilty in 34 felonies?
34, yeah.
Yeah. Her whole posts are about how they're doing to Trump exactly what they did to my parents.
Found them guilty for crimes they did.
Yeah, they're weaponizing. All he did
34 crimes.
Yeah, but so like, yeah, so she was advocating for him before Election Day a little bit on this.
Yeah.
But again, white girl in Georgia.
Yeah.
It's just like this kind of one of those things.
Yeah, or Florida.
Or Florida.
Or Tennessee.
Or the Florida-Georgia line.
Oh, there's a line.
Yeah, well, it's a band.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So wait, listen.
Yeah.
I want to show you another post.
Okay.
Okay. So this post actually isn't about this story of how she got the pardon. It's just a picture of her and RFK Jr. RFK Jr., known health advocate. What's he do now? What's his job?
Now he is in charge of the secretary. He's the Secretary of Health and Human Services.
Yeah. So here she is in this post being like, this guy, he knows what's going on when it comes to our health. I need you to know something that I didn't bring up until right now because it's important. She owns her own unregulated supplement company, and she sells semaglutide injections along with pills that aren't regulated by the FDA. She's a supplement girly. Okay. And so her with RFK, and I need you to know that the company is called Good Girl RX. Good Girl RX. And one of the pills that she sells are called Vax-Ax.
It's an anti-vax pill.
It's a pill. I'm going to read it. It says, designed to provide the nutrients and antioxidants that support the generation of cellular energy. Key benefits to Vax-Ax are reduced inflammation, because you need to detox from the vaccine. It says, although vaccines are generally safe, some seek detox due to concern.
Wait. We're going to add energy to the cells.
Yes.
Are you adding more mitochondria? Because mitochondria is the powerhouse of the fucking cells. Anyone who went to fucking middle school biology knows that. Savannah? Jesus Christ. I'm looking at this picture of her with RFK. Mm-hmm. First thing, you didn't tell me about the shirt. The shirt she's saying that says, I don't speak liberal. And liberal's crossed out, which means if you actually went to a real college and you understood what a red pen meant, Savannah, your shirt says, I don't speak.
Yeah.
Because you've crossed out the word liberal.
Yeah.
You shouldn't cross out the word. If it just said, I don't speak liberal, then that would make sense. Second thing, let me tell you something I'm having a lot of fun with.
Okay, what's that?
Right? One thing from being terminally online is the term liberal is such a catch-all term. Right? Because Savannah's wearing it. She's like, I hate liberals.
Yeah. I
hate liberals. I hate the fact that all these liberals with their septum piercings and their dyed hair and their thoughts on trans and all this other different stuff, and they're all communists and all these different things, right? But if you're on the internet long enough, who she's describing do not describe themselves as liberals.
Yeah.
They're like, no, I'm a leftist.
Yeah.
I'm a communist. I'm a socialist. I'm all these different things is what they'll list themselves as, right? But then they'll be like, no, fuck liberals. So then they'll see her and be like, oh, I like that shirt because she hates liberals too.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you guys are yelling about centrists. What you don't like is centrists. You fucking, It's so liberal. It's Schrodinger's liberal. It's just whoever I don't like is just there to fuck them. And but I just want to tell you the comments on this are gold because that's the other thing too is she very much like Trump. She's talking a lot of shit.
Wait, before you talk about the comments on there.
Yeah.
I took a screenshot of my favorite comment on there.
Oh,
on
yeah?
that specific post.
Oh yeah?
It because there's a top comment. It just says, they're not going to pardon your parents. Well, guess what? Who's wrong? Nate Dog _37. They did. She was right.
Oh.
She got in that room with RFK Jr. and he made that voice. You can do it. I can't do it.
No, the thing is, Donald, what we gotta do, we gotta pardon Savannah's parents. We gotta pardon. I like Savannah a lot. She reminds me a lot of the babysitter that I don't look it up. Don't look up RFK babysitter at all. Also, don't look up if people have been looking up the 34 guilty charges against Donald Trump. Don't look up the 37 women found in my little black book that my second wife read about before she committed suicide, allegedly suicide. Also, Donald Trump and I and the FBI director all believe that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself, and there's no reason to keep looking into that, nor the fact that Donald Trump and myself, RFK Jr., flew on Epstein's plane multiple times. And when I was asked about it, I said, hey, I also hung out with Bill Cosby.
That's real. That's a real quote from him, by the way. And I apologize to anyone's ears
meanwhile, she's standing there in her bad T-shirt, and she's like, "So I made this pill called Vaxax."
Yeah, Vaxax. And he's like, "We'll never touch it."
Yeah. So okay. Now,
because he's in charge of the guy who's in charge of the FDA now.
That's what I mean. She was already selling unregulated meds.
Yeah.
By the way, they're very expensive. The one bottle of Vaxax is $69.99.
Girl, you fucked up. All right, $69.99. That's incredible.
$69.99. But it says if I subscribe, it's only $62.99.
Oh,
I guess I should subscribe.
She's using the Chewy method. That's the same method they use for dog food.
Yeah.
Where if you get it to auto refill, get it to auto refill, and then they'll give you a discount.
Wait, what did you just find? Hold on. Mr. Third just showed me that I missed something very funny called the Defend Blend Kids.
Defend Blend Kids? Don't defend blend kids.
Wait, hold on. It's number one. It's $79.
$79? Well, how much if you subscribe?
Oh, you're right. $71.
Hey, look, and you know what? If you use those savings and you take that subscription savings and you bring it over to pearlmania500.net, you can then become a Patreon and get all sorts of...
For $79, you get a lot of Patreon benefits.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but if you take the $8 you save...
I'm trying to figure out what Defend Blends Kids does. It says it protects against harmful toxins and stress. Mm-hmm. I don't know how you protect kids from stress. It's like school is stressful.
Yeah.
Repairs their brain, gut, heart, blood, hair, and skin.
That's too many things.
That's a lot of things.
That's a lot of things. Most stuff usually does like maybe two of those.
nourishes body by replacing minerals and vitamins missing from today's food supply. Boom, there's the RFK Jr. about the food supply stuff.
Yep.
It prevents inflammation.
We got a Delito the Dorito.
Slows down aging. You want to slow down the child's aging? They're children. They're supposed to grow.
Yeah, absolutely not. You need to stay little forever.
I mean, who hasn't looked at a baby and just said, stay little forever? But I wouldn't give them a bottle called Defend Blends Kids.
I think you would at 2 o'clock in the morning when you show me a picture of our child when he was 6 months old and said, don't you wish he was still a potato? As he is screaming in the other room to punch me in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a question here. It says, is Defend Blend Kids right for my child? And here's the answer. A strong immune system is essential for kids, especially during school and extracurricular activities. Whether they're in class, participating in sports, or engaging in after-school programs, their bodies are constantly exposed to new germs and stress. Defend Blends Kids help strengthen their immunity, reducing the likelihood of illness and ensuring they can stay active, engaged, and focused.
So here's my question. Is this a powder? Is this a lotion?
This does look like a powder. It looks like something you'd add to a smoothie.
Oh, okay. So this is just like emergency.
Yeah, it's like emergency blend.
Okay, got it.
I can't actually see the ingredients.
Oh no, but that's
They're down.
Oh, you got them. You got
Okay.
you got them on there, Mister.
It's like
Microphone, buddy.
it's like elderberry, reishi. I don't even know.
I see. Yeah, it's definitely a powder. It's a green powder, so kids are definitely going to want to eat it.
Oh,
Kids
yeah.
are definitely not going to fight you on drinking a green powder juice.
Let me tell you something. Kids love a purple. A purple or a blue. You make a drink a purple or a blue, a kid is right in it.
Okay. What are the ingredients? I found. Thank you. Pineapple fruit powder, some cellulose, which again could maybe be made from tree bark. Elderberry fruit extract. Elderberry fruit extract is good for you, but as an extract, not as a powder. Mushrooms, broccoli concentrate, onion extract, apple extract. So it's basically a lot of veggie and fruit extracts.
Yeah.
And then
That have been highly processed.
super processed.
So these are highly processed foods.
Wheatgrass, that puts me out. Barley grass powder, I can't have it. Barley and wheatgrass both have gluten in them, so it's not gluten free. Yeah, and then it's got just like multivitamin stuff in it, but there's no like real.
Yeah.
Okay, where do they ship from? Is a great question.
Oh, here we go.
Our vitamins and
Where do
supplements
we-
are shipped directly from our dedicated warehouse. That's it. It doesn't
Okay.
say where they come from.
I'm gonna go ahead and guess. And I don't have information on this
Yeah.
one. I don't have proof on this one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess that this warehouse is the same warehouse that InfoWars and Goop use.
Yes, for sure.
Because Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop sells
Yeah.
the exact same supplements
Yeah.
that Alex Jones's InfoWars sold
Yep.
for millions of dollars. It came out in that lawsuit. He was making just so much money. And again, that's what with all these fuckers.
Oh, wait. I want to read you her mission statement.
Go ahead.
Supporting the body's natural detox pathways is essential for reclaiming health and vitality, ensuring we thrive in a toxic world. Yep. Boom.
Toxic world that's only going to get better once we start dumping more shit in the rivers.
Yeah, without. Okay, so wait. Anyway, let's skip it. Let's move on.
Okay.
April 29th.
Wait, hold on. I want to get back to these comments real fast.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry.
Because girly, I know you pick your favorite.
Yeah, what's your
My
favorite one?
favorite top comment is from girlypop_1097.
Okay.
Girlypop_1097. Oh, Savannah, honey, this is not going well. 3,370 likes.
Aged
Wrong,
poorly.
girly pop.
She knows what she's doing. She's on a mission to free her parents.
Aaron _
And I feel like RFK just smells like meat. So I feel like she put in a little work here.
Well, and on top of that, his brain is blue.
What?
Yeah, his brain is blue.
Okay.
He does, was it methylene blue? There's a video of RFK, and it's. I'm not going to ask Mr. Third to find this
don't
because
find
this is a difficult video to find. But somebody filmed him sitting in business class on a plane, and he has like a glass of water or something, and he's adding a squirt, like the way I add Mio to everything, and it turns it blue, but it's like a little dropper.
Yeah.
It's like a weird tincture dropper.
Sure.
And he drops it in, and the thing turns blue, and he starts drinking it. So I was like, what is that? And everybody, it's a thing that the online grifters, especially the Alex Jones affiliate or like her, will push that you can really find on these like health food bullshit websites. And it's called, I think it's methylene blue. And it's like this thing that's supposed to help you with all of your levels of immunity. Again, it's snake oil bullshit. And the one thing they know is if you take it for long enough, when you die and they do an autopsy and they look at your brain is literally dyed blue.
Blue like the color of Mother God when she died from taking in too much colloidal silver.
Yes. It's like it's colloidal silver adjacent. It's not the same stuff, but it's that same general idea.
Perfect.
But again, this next comment from Aaron_LGK, quote, aren't both of your parents currently incarcerated for tax evasion? 1,793 likes. Didn't age well.
Not anymore.
Yeah,
not anymore,
not
buddy.
anymore. No. The girl. Everyone in here is like, she's only doing this to get her parents pardoned. Every single comment.
Everybody knows what she's doing.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh my God, this is so fun. And then occasionally there's an occasional American flag comment. Listen to this one. This is a long one. I totally understand you wanting your parents out of jail. I get it. You also have to mature enough to understand what they did was wrong. Nobody set them up. Nobody trapped them. They committed a crime, and they must pay the price. It's a hard lesson. 424 likes from Bucking 1965.
Yeah, they're not wrong.
That is an old person who came in and she's like, listen, girl, give me your hand.
Listen.
They weren't persecuted. They were prosecuted.
Oh, bars.
Bars.
Okay, let's move up her timeline a bit.
Move it
April
up.
29th.
Okay.
I got a picture here from her Instagram post.
Which is
fun at the White House, baby.
The first 100 days party.
I had to look that up. I was like, why are they there? So
Yeah.
I looked up the date, and that is the first 100 days party.
So, which means that she was 1 month later, because she was there on March 28th. Here it is. And then 1 month after that, which was yesterday, which we're recording this on March 28th, and we're releasing it on June 1st. Happy Pride. But we, so it's like every month. She just pops in every month. Because that's about, I want to let you know, 3 weeks is Donald Trump's entire attention span.
Yeah.
3 weeks maximum.
You got to keep him looking at the situation for 3 weeks so he remembers.
No.
No?
It drops off. So you have to re-up once a month. But 3 weeks, because 3 weeks was in the first Trump administration, 3 weeks was infrastructure week. And a lot of people forget about this, but in the first Trump administration, Sarah Huckabee Sanders would come out and they'd ask her a question, and then she'd be like, I'll circle back. We're going to follow back on that in 3 weeks. Because 3 weeks was how long it took for the media to forget.
Got it.
Because by that point, there was always a new scandal. There was always a new thing. As we see now, there's always another thing that pops up.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, and so like one thing that I want to try a little bit harder this time around is just to keep reminding people about stuff.
Yeah.
You know, just reminding people about stuff. Because we've already been doing it. Because listen, we're talking about the Chrisleys getting pardoned, right? Yeah. Kilmar Abreu Garcia is still in an El Salvadorian prison.
Yeah.
Right now.
Even though the court said he should be brought back.
He should be brought back. And now it's come out that 50 of the other 200 men that were sent down to CCOT were all people who did not have any charges against them for anything, who were people who were here who had legally applied for asylum.
Yeah.
Who the only reason the Trump administration and the ICE and all these other people had their names and knew how to collect them is because they were doing everything right inside of the system.
Yeah.
And instead of pardoning them, bringing them back to America after you illegally sent them to a hell camp, what are we doing? We're getting the Chrisleys out.
Yeah. Criminals.
Yep.
So the Chrisleys, I mean. May 14th, we're getting closer. May 14th, we have a post of her with Lara Trump, who you told me was one of the son's wives.
Yes, Lara Trump is Eric Trump's wife.
Yep.
She is also the co-chair of the Republican National Committee.
The RNC.
The RNC.
Yeah.
She was declared the co-chair when there was a falling out. And again, she doesn't have the full title. She is co-chair, which they didn't used to have.
Yeah.
Really just to be there to have an eye on the actual person who does the job. Lara Trump also very famous for being a singer. Not a good one, but a singer.
I didn't know that.
She has a cover of Tom Petty's Don't Back Down.
Okay.
That is so horrific. I don't want you to play. Do not put it in. Do not put it in.
We don't want to ruin anybody's good time.
Say it. Promise us in the microphone.
I will not put it in.
Thank you.
No, I won't back down.
Save that clip though.
She is awful. Yeah.
Okay, wait, let me read you the caption though of this picture.
From Instagram.
Yeah, and this is a slideshow, like little slides, right? It says, this week I had the honor of joining my sweet friend at Lara Trump to film an episode of My View and it's at My View FNC, which is airing Saturday night on Fox News. She tagged Fox News. A conversation I'll never forget. I'm so grateful to Lara and the entire Trump administration for giving me the space to share my heart, my story, and most importantly, my voice. Okay? So here she is. She's interviewing on Fox News. But here's the fun fact about this post that I was cracking up laughing. None of the comments give a fuck about her, about Lara Trump or her cute little pickleball outfit. None of it. In one of the slides, she is posing on the beach next to a sea turtle. And in the picture, she clearly used flash photography, which I did not know this. You're not supposed to use on sea turtles. And every comment is up in arms about the flash photography with the sea turtle.
Because the sea turtle is on land to lay eggs.
Yes.
That's why the sea turtle is there.
And she's laying next to the turtle all sexy like.
Yeah.
And taking a picture of it for Instagram. And all the comments are like, what the fuck are you fucking with that sea turtle for?
Yeah, the top comment from 1 week ago. Get away from the sea turtle. Jesus, there are signs everywhere saying stay away and no light, including flash. This is incredible. Yeah, every comment. Every fucking comment. 47,000 likes for the post itself, though. Though there's this comment. This gave me chills. Proof that purpose can rise from pain. Pray emoji. Thank you for reminding us to keep dreaming big. Savanah and Grayson Chrisley. They tagged both of them in there.
Okay.
There are a lot of fillers in one pic. Jesus. Oh.
Got him.
God damn, Richie Rich Jr. 77. You really just came in there with a... Yeah, that's that. This is that pic they're pointing to. Lara Trump and all the other different people all making duck face into the camera.
Yep.
I did look it up, by the way. Lara Trump is the former co-chair of the Republican National Chair. She was succeeded by somebody else, but she gave up that chair 3 days before Trump was inaugurated. She was the chair from March 8th, 2024, which is around when Trump became the presumptive nominee.
Yep.
To January 17th, 2025. And a big part of her job also was to be there to oversee seeing RNC funds go directly into Trump coffers.
I was about to say, it was so that they could steal the money.
Yeah, a lot of it's for stealing the money.
Yeah.
Because her husband, Eric Trump, is banned from running a charity.
Because of
they stole money from cancer kids.
Stole the money from the cancer kids.
Yeah.
Okay, so May 16th, this is our final update before the pardon.
Before the pardon. Okay.
She does the interview on Fox News with Lara Trump. Mm-hmm. And her caption says, because it's a dual post where Lara Trump also posted it.
It's a collab.
Collab
post.
At Savanah Chrisley is a former TV star, a podcast host, and now a criminal justice reform advocate and guardian to her two young siblings while her parents, Todd and Julie, remain behind bars. Tomorrow night, she joins at Lara Real Trump to share her story on Fox News. And so she does this interview and she talks about how her parents, they don't deserve this. They're being abused in prison, in the fanciest, nicest prison probably that exists. And and then not too many days later, about 10 days later, right? Everybody comes through, all the people that have been working to get this done, and all those people, I just mean Savannah, who's been going to Mar-a-Lago, going to the White House. There's so many posts where she tags at Donald Trump all the time talking about her parents, about pardoning her parents. And I just want to say she did it.
She did it.
She fucking did it, dude. If you get a couple fillers and maybe a nose job and you bleach your hair blonde and you put on a MAGA hat that's pink or gold and you post about Donald Trump, he's going to look at it, is what I'm saying. He's going to look. And if you say that you like him and he's smart, he might pardon your parents for crimes. He might pardon your parents for crimes, but also you have to be a millionaire, and also you have to be at Mar-a-Lago pretty regularly. Yeah, you got to pay for that membership. Yeah. This is, listen, I will say she set out her goal. And just like the book The Secret, she thought about it really hard. And then every day she woke up and she said, how am I going to get my foot in Mar-a-Lago or the White House? Yes, 100%. Yeah. And she did nail it. Yeah. She is a success story where that other guy is a failure. The guy, the $48 million guy that got a hat. Is that right? Oh, yeah. It wasn't 48 million. It was 480,000. Still a lot of monies. Yeah, that one man spent on attending a Trump dinner. And now here's the best part. He posted multiple TikToks about it because he wanted to show off. Because if you're going to spend $480,000
then you want to show off to everybody what you spend it on. Just the way he's spending on his Ferraris and other things. And he's a big crypto guy.
Oh, he's a big crypto guy.
And but here's the thing: what you can't buy with crypto.
What's that?
Personality.
Oh.
This man, he talks very flat. He's kind of very boring. And I don't want to play the audio of him, but we're gonna run right here on the screen, just like him at this crypto dinner. And the thing is like he's showing like it just looks like a lame wedding.
Yeah.
And then there was a lot of guys showed off like what they got for the meal. And the thing is what these guys believed was that they were going to go to Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
They were going to have this big event. They all bought hundreds of thousands of dollars to millions of dollars of Trump meme coin. There's a leaderboard when you go to the Trump meme coin website.
Oh.
There's a huge, because that's one of the big deals. Look at me. I'm at the top of the leaderboard because we've commodified it. We've gamed it. We're
Guys,
gamers.
you can just go to flywheel classes and get on the top of the leaderboard.
You can easily do. There's so many different ways. There's so many leaderboards you can get on to.
Yeah.
That do not involve giving
I like that
Donald
I just
Trump.
went to spinning classes. I was like a spin class. You can just ride real fast and you get to the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, you know what I'm at the top of the leaderboard of?
What?
Hugs from my father. Anyway, these fucking people. They had a list of stuff, but he goes down the list of things like, oh, yeah, we're here, and it's this Trump event. And like basically they had these hundreds of guys, including the one guy who's the basketball player that was married to a Kardashian.
Oh, Lamar?
Yeah, he was there, and a few others. And so they're all there, and Trump literally walks out. They have this awful dinner, which pictures of, like, it looks like an airplane meal.
Yeah, that's...
It's really bad. And then he leaves. But the secondary thing they got, tour of the White House.
Okay.
They got a tour of the White House.
You can get those any day of the week.
You can contact your congressperson and get a tour of the White House. Like a tour of the White House is... So Donald Trump is literally enriching himself with U.S. government property. The White House is owned by every American taxpayer.
Yeah.
That's why you're allowed to visit it. And the thing is, it's very funny, is like I've been to the White House.
Yeah.
Went there for a few things. And like, I saw more of the White House than these dudes who spent $480,000.
$480,000 is a house. It's a house.
It's a house.
That's a house.
It's a house without a mortgage.
Yeah.
You know what $480,000 is? That's enough money to put a down payment on multiple homes and then get a commercial real estate mortgage.
Loan. Yep. Okay.
And
So we're
then,
going with this.
And then you can use that to then set up some income.
Yep.
And then you get just enough of that you can then change your income statement.
Yeah, and then hear me out. You sign up for a reality show.
Yeah.
Okay, hear me out.
And tell people about how successful you are.
I'm a real estate mogul, right?
Mogul.
Because I got this real estate I'm working in, right?
Oh.
But then we're gonna film the show in Tennessee. Okay? And then when the IRS comes and knocking, knock, looking for some tax money, you'd be like, I don't even work. I don't have income. And they're like, we can see you on the TV making the money.
Yep.
And then they're like, no, I'm sorry, we didn't get the mail because we were out of state. And they're like, we know where you live. You're on the TV.
Yes.
And then you're going to get, they're going to use the video from your reality show to prove your crimes. And then you're going to get convicted. But don't worry, because all your daughter's got to do is spend 6 months on Instagram posting pictures in pretty dresses at Mar-a-Lago in the White House to convince the toddler in charge that you're cool because you say nice things about him and he'll let your parents out of prison.
But also be just a little famous because that reality show is important because he himself is also a reality star.
Loves a reality star.
And he knows that the name will pop a rating, which it has, because if you Google the Chrisleys right now, if you just type Trump pardon, that's the top one. Now, here's the part that's crazy, is out of all of the pardons, because he did multiple pardons that day, the Chrisley pardon, not the most corrupt.
Well, of course not.
No, because Paul Walczak was the most corrupt pardon of the day.
I'm sorry, Walczak?
Paul Walczak.
Paul Wall?
Yeah. So
the
different
rapper,
guy.
hip-hop
Different guy.
artist Paul
This
Wall?
is a Florida man.
Okay.
Paul Walczak was a Florida man.
What did he do?
So he owned a bunch of different entities, all right? Specifically nursing home entities.
Oh, Jesus.
Named Palm Health Partners. He also owned another one called Palm Health Partners Employment Services, which was his payroll company. Over the years, he paid $24 million annually in payroll.
Okay.
So because he had 600 employees.
Yeah, all right.
So 600 employees over 12 months.
This sounds above board.
$24 million.
Sure.
And, so because he ran the payroll company, his employees were required to withhold Social Security, Medicare, federal income taxes, and others.
Yeah.
Because they're W-2 employees. Paul withheld the money.
Okay.
And then did not send all of the money to the IRS.
Oh, he Andrew Tated it.
He kept the money.
Yep.
Each quarter. And then he used that to buy yachts and other things.
Yeah, that's literally what Andrew Tate taught in his classes.
Yes. He withheld, from 2016 through 2019, he withheld $7.4 million in taxes from his employees' paychecks, but did not hand it over to the IRS. And then he used that through his own business's bank accounts to pay himself out millions of dollars and then buy a yacht. He was found guilty by the DOJ, the Department of Justice. He was sentenced pretty recently. Like a couple weeks ago, to 18 months in prison plus 2 years of supervised release. And he was ordered to pay $4 million in restitution, which you'll notice is less than how much he actually withheld. But just out of the way this whole thing works out.
For sure.
So he, because he didn't pay over $10 million in taxes. That were his employees' taxes. His mom, Paul Walczak's mom, paid $1 million to attend a Trump dinner. And then within a couple days, Trump then pardoned him. Because, again...
Okay, so maybe you don't need to do this whole Instagram thing. You could just buy the tickets.
Maybe you just need $1 million.
Maybe you just need $1 million.
And that's the thing that people have been talking about. They've been going back to...
Paul's mom... I understand what she did. She paid the mill. She got the pardon, right?
Yeah.
Because he seems like a low key kind of guy. He's in senior living, that type of thing. That's right. Right. That's low key work. I think Savannah is thinking bigger because she knows that not only is he a president, but he's a reality show star. So that when the parents get out, they are going to have the backing of the White House to make the greatest comeback reality show of all time. So she needed to do this primo Instagram work so that she could set all of the marketing prepped for the newest MAGA reality show. Chrisley knows best, because they're not going to spell it right.
Chrisley knows better.
Chrisley knows better now that he's done time.
Yeah, it's not going to be called Chrisley Learned a Lesson. God forbid it be called that.
No.
But let's talk about the last pardon that I want to cover on this episode.
Pardon me.
And that is the pardon of Jared Kushner's father.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, because, listen, we've been talking here about real estate people a lot, right? And so the thing about Jared Kushner's father is that he was pardoned, Charles Kushner. He was pardoned by Donald Trump at the end of his first term. It was held off pretty heavily because the thing is you need to know about Jared Kushner, New Jersey guy. He was prosecuted by Chris Christie. I know we've been talking here a lot about Todd Chrisley.
That Chris Christie's a different person.
Yeah, Chris Christie, the former governor of New Jersey, and also who was a very close friend and worked really hard with the Trump campaign. And Trump's first term. Famously got COVID from Trump. Remember when Trump had COVID in October? That was right around the first debate.
We all held our breath.
Listen, God, we were all hoping that COVID would hold his breath too. But the Chris Christie did debate prep with Trump while Trump had COVID. Trump gave COVID to Chris Christie. Chris Christie went to the hospital and nearly died. And then after Trump after Joe Biden stole the 2020 election, Trump, in December of 2020, pardoned Charles Kushner. Now, what was Charles Kushner in jail for?
It's a great question.
He was doing a lot of different stuff, but one of the big things he was charged for was tax evasion, illegal campaign contributions. But the biggest one was witness tampering.
Witness tampering?
So Charles Kushner paid money to a prostitute. And he sicked this prostitute on a man named William Shoulder. Now, William Shoulder is the brother-in-law of Charles Kushner. He is married to Charles's sister, Esther.
Okay, so this is an inter-family fight.
Yes. So William Shoulder, he was cooperating with the feds. He had turned witness. And so Charles hired a prostitute to seduce him and then get photos and record it.
This is a plot from The Sopranos.
Yes. This is also a plot, actually.
From Downton Abbey.
From Downton Abbey. But basically, Jared Kushner's dad hired a prostitute to blackmail his own brother-in-law, his sister's husband, to then try to convince him to not testify against him.
Sure.
It didn't work.
Okay.
And Chris Christie used that to help expand the sentence against him. So he ended up facing and served 14 months at a federal prison camp in Montgomery, Alabama, and then went to a halfway house in Newark, New Jersey. Now, as a convicted felon, Charles was disbarred, because he was also a lawyer, disbarred and prohibited from practicing law in New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania. Chris Christie called it, quote, one of the most loathsome, disgusting crimes that he prosecuted during his time as a federal prosecutor. Okay. Chris Christie, disgusted by this man. And then on December 23rd, 2020, President Trump gave him a full and unconditional pardon.
Yeah.
Because, again, it's his daughter's father-in-law.
Yeah.
This is family. And Trump was just like, all right, whatever.
Didn't he just get a really good job?
Yeah. Charles Kushner is now, let's go ahead and bring it together. He is the ambassador to France. That's right. He is the ambassador to France.
From a halfway house in New Jersey to the ambassador of France.
From Newark, New Jersey.
Yo,
and
listen,
you know, and
I thought prison would be bad, but a halfway house in Newark sounds real rough.
And, well, you know what? When he was in the halfway house.
The planes are just crashing into the halfway house.
Can I tell you, when he's in that halfway house in Newark, New Jersey, you know what happened when he was there? He started giving campaign contributions and really supporting the mayor of Newark, New Jersey.
Oh, who's that?
Oh, the mayor of Newark, New Jersey then went on to start to build up his political campaign.
Okay.
And you might have heard about him recently because he made a very big deal because he joined the United States Senate representing New Jersey.
Okay.
And then he stood up for 25 hours and talked about the importance of law and how we need to protect this country and all these other different things.
No.
Cory Booker.
Son of a bitch.
And guess who the only Democrat? Guess who the only Democrat to vote to make Charles Kushner the American ambassador to France? Oh. I'm going to give you a hint. Guess what? There's 47 Democrats, if you want to add in the independents like Bernie Sanders who caucus with them. Guess which one Democrat voted to support Charles Kushner to become the ambassador to France? Go ahead. Give me a guess.
Was it Cory Booker?
Yes. Ding, 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 ding. Right over there. You win a duck for your Jeep.
No, I'm not putting it in my Jeep. I'm taking over ducks from Jeep and putting them in regular cars.
Yes.
I'm going to put a duck in a sedan. A Buick sedan covered in ducks.
And we don't currently own a Jeep. But yes, that is 100% what has happened. And Charles Kushner is still part of the Kushner Company.
The lesson
and all the
I've
others.
learned is that crimes aren't real if you have money.
Crimes aren't real if you have money or if Donald Trump knows your name or if you post yourself in a MAGA hat long enough. You need to do 2 of the 3.
Yeah, 2 of the 3.
And not be Joe Exotic. That's really what it comes down to. Don't be the Tiger King.
The
Tiger King is the only one. And honestly, can I tell you something? I'm going to say it right here at the very end of the episode. This goes out to the FBI.
Yeah.
Pardon the Tiger King, and it will be the only thing that people will love Donald Trump for, and it'll be the thing he'll be remembered for.
Yeah.
You know? Because that's what it really comes down to. But what it really comes down to now is the end of the episode, Mrs. P.
What's our thing? I think our thing, the words at the bottom of the comment section, comment, defend Blend's kid.
Defend Blend's kid?
Comment, defend Blend's kids.
Okay. That should be the comment. Defend Blend's kids. For the comment section on YouTube, on our Patreon at pearlmania500.net, or on the comments and the ratings for us on Apple Podcasts.
Give us 5 stars.
5 stars.
Please.
Give us a nice rating.
A nice rating, please.
And
we need that.
We'll be back next.
I need positive reinforcement.
Listen, you want to get positive reinforcement? We got to join Mar-a-Lago, which means we need more people to join us at pearlmania500.net, because that's the only way to get justice in this country is to join Mar-a-Lago as a member who they're raising the rates on constantly.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
It's like an HOA over there.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we don't need to go all the way to Mar-a-Lago, though. They have one in Bed-Stuy, New Jersey.
Oh, my God.
There's always one closer. It sucks.
It's like the Cheesecake Factory.
It really is. It's like
looks like it too.
It's the Six Flags of justice. With that, Mrs. P, thank you to all of our patrons, thank you to all of our listeners, thank you to all of our sponsors, and we'll be back with you guys next week with a new episode of Too Many Tabs.
Too many frauds and too many scammers that we wish weren't real. Too many cons and too many spammers, and we're starting to feel like we've got too many tabs open. It's too many tabs. Remember to smile.